The only way that you can minimize the potential damage is through stakeholder dialogue and through a very pluralistic area of experts that you consult with. Because if you look at you can look at the growth of knowledge, you can look at it in a film. You know, if this is time, if this is knowledge, we gather more knowledge as we go on. And you can look at it at a Polaroid photo, and then you see that at one given point of time, some NGOs were knowing better and more than some industrialists, or some industrialists were knowing better and more than some NGOs. If you read the party program of the Green Party in Germany in 1978, and you compare it with the environmental statements of a lot of companies today, you have the idea that these are probably the same people who are writing it. That might well be, however, the others were doing it 40 years earlier. Now, if you want to minimize the area where we even don't know that we don't know, you talk to people who have a different opinion, who have a different value system, who come from different competences, from different silos. For me personally, I've worked 40 years in the industry silo. It's a very, very big temptation to remain within your own silo. People know your language, people understand your values, they even know the abbreviations you use, and somehow everybody says, yes, very much so, I totally agree. The moment, that's fine as long as you don't think this silo is the whole world. Because if you go into another silo, you all of a sudden find very different ideas, very different awarenesses about what the future will bring. If you talk about, I will come back to that, to technology freaks, they will say, a lot of American friends, bright people, will say, come on, look at the information and communication technology, and look what has happened between 1995 and today, you know, fantastic. And everything will be like this. Maybe, maybe not. So, dialoguing, inclusive decision processes are part of the Sustainable Development Agenda. We can learn from others, we should have stakeholder dialogue, and what I mean here, do not talk only to people who are convenient, who are kind of accepting what you are saying. You gain much more from people who are contradicting you, fair in form and language, but in content. What ought we to do? It has to do with acting with integrity and with the spirit of the Golden Rule. Golden Rule, in its passive form, is do not do to others what you do not want to be done unto yourself. And in its active form is do to others what you want to be done to yourself. Obviously, the active form is much more difficult to follow. Now, if we put into that an intergenerational aspect, it means don't do on future generations what you would not have appreciated if your parent or grandparent generation would have done it, and you would have to pay the price for that. For the top management, it is an old Socratian truth, and that is the beginning is half of the whole. What is needed, what ought to be done in enlightened companies is that the top management takes a day or two, it goes into a meeting institution and asks itself what are the values we stand for, what does it mean in the context of sustainability. What should the world look like that we want to hand over to our own descendants, and what are the consequences out of that worldview for the corporate action portfolio today? What rules in this respect govern priority setting in the case of dilemmas? And this is full of dilemmas, as you can imagine. It's the worst or the most difficult dilemma is, you know, if it is not compatible with the short-term profit expectations of the financial market, but in consideration of long-term ecological interests or social inclusion, what do we do? Obviously, these are not simple decisions. They're not obviously, a CEO of a big company has a different job to do than the CEO of an activist NGO or a politician. But then, are there shared values? Are there common normative convictions? And yes, there are, and I'll come back to that as well. Very concrete. You know, there is a book from a guy called Michael Walzer, which is called Thin and Thick. And the book starts when he says, I was sitting in front of my TV at the revolution in 1968, and when I saw people whacking posters with freedom, justice, you know, and we all are for freedom and we all are for justice. That is what he calls thin. It's the agreement to an abstract value. If you make it thick, you say justice, what does justice mean with regard